Wrestling fans are all upset with a new decision. There's a controversy that is around social media, and really it's kind of hard because when you spend your hard-earned money on a product, you want to be happy. I could actually understand why people aren't happy. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Also, TNA clarifying some major rumors, and yes, we do have an AEW announcement that is relatively huge, continues to be a trend for the company moving forward. We're going to talk about it all right here on the Ango Show. All right, guys, and as always, if you want more videos like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button. You never want to miss a video on this channel. I promise you, I'm always going to keep you up to date. And sometimes you talk about things on video, right? And sometimes when we talk about things on video, they might be true, they might not be true. There's no way to control the truth. I can't force things to be truthful or not. But my point that I'm making is when something gets debunked, I do like to create an opportunity using my platform to also update that. Now, the TNA president, Carlos Silva, finally chimed in on these rumors that TNA is completely done with blood and blading. Carlos Silva is the president for TNA, and he spoke to the Takedown on Sports Illustrated, and he's actually denied reports. He's denied the reports that TNA has banned intentional bleeding in matches as well as all that other crazy, raunchy stuff that was talked about. Basically, he clarified that the policy was misinterpreted. So what you guys need to know is this. If creative or talent feel basically like we need intentional blood or heavy violence in a match, TNA is open to doing it. The point of what TNA is trying to do is to not just have it happen all the time, right? They look at their advertisers as a very important part of the thing. And then, of course, they factor in pretty much everything from the creative direction of how they do things and whatnot. So he's basically saying, like, TNA is not 100% closing the door on it, but it's not going to be utilized heavily, and it can't be intentional. You know, obviously things happen accidentally, but you can't control that. And if it's intentional, it's got to be approved. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's really interesting because I saw a lot of comments from people talking about the blood in TNA, and obviously, you know, WWE is very weird about blood in their matches. AEW is the company that just allows it. It doesn't matter. But I think a lot of people looked at this as like, oh my God, TNA is trying to become a thing like WWE. I think really what it comes down to is, one, it should feel special, but two, you're trying to get a new TV deal. So that matters, and you got to protect your advertisers as well. So no intentional blood, but unless it's needed. And that brings us to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. AEW has dropped a huge announcement, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of like this, but I also have some concerns. I've been talking about this a little bit. AEW is doing residencies now. I think it's an interesting and bold strategy. But today they announced that the Byline Bank Aragon Ballroom in Chicago will host an exclusive multi-week residency for AEW Dynamite and Collision, which is actually the first time AEW has ever done a residency in Chicago. Now, just last week on this channel, we were talking about AEW announcing the residency at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. And then previously, AEW did a residency with the Esports Stadium Arena thing in Texas. So July 16th all the way to what? July 31st, Dynamite and Collision will be at this venue. AEW is going to be doing a residency here in Chicago. 6 shows. It's an interesting idea. There's a reason why. I like the idea, and I've said this, I've praised the idea often, that it's cool that you'll use the same venue multiple times. You know, it's less travel for people. Obviously, having that opportunity to build relationships with different venues and having a residency, I believe, is a good sign of a relationship. And then also my concern, and this is my concern, I think it's a pretty valid one. AEW was just in Masonic Temple in Detroit. They were there Wednesday and Thursday. Now, from where I live to get there, probably like, I don't know, 60 minutes. It's probably an hour. Plus traffic, this and that. I don't know if I want to constantly deal with traffic going to the same venue. So that's like my reason. Like if I seen it once and then I go the week after and then a week after, then another week after, maybe it's going to feel a little too redundant. And I think what that really means, or what that really tells me, is that AEW would really have to create such compelling stories in order for me to go there every single time. You know, to fight through the traffic and the process of getting in and security. It could be a pain in the ass, but I do like the idea of residencies. I do. I think it's actually really cool that AEW has taken this approach. These venues that they've been doing, yes, they're smaller, but I do think they look cooler. And you know, this is a good strategy. It's a bold strategy in the sense that until they're able to fill up big arenas again, this is good. By the way, it does look different. A lot of these ballrooms or theaters, you know, they have a different look than basketball arenas, and I think that actually makes it a lot cooler for them. So I support it. And that brings us to our final topic. Ladies and gentlemen, WWE is under fire. A lot of talks about WWE 2K25, a lot of outrage from fans. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy because 2K25 has revealed, you know, they put out the new wave DLC pack. So this is the new DLC pack, which includes the Motor City Machine Guns. I believe Stephanie Vakir is in this pack as well. I know I feel like I'm forgetting names, but basically all that really matters here is that there was supposed to be a celebrity in this game. Each DLC pack has a celebrity reveal, and they did not drop the celebrity. In fact, they have not even revealed the celebrities for the game. And there's been a lot of outrage about this because people have obviously paid for the season pass. They've paid for this DLC in advance, and they're getting this DLC. And now the celebrity who's supposed to be in the game is not in the game. And there's a lot of outrage because people not only are paying for this, but 2K offered virtual currency, you know, with a locker room code available to everybody. And they've come out and revealed that WWE and 2K will reveal who it is within the coming weeks. Basically, what this stems from is you're releasing a product, you're advertising a product, and within your advertising, you're not saying who's included. And then when the time comes for the product to come out, you're missing something with your product. It's a problem, dude. Now, a lot of people are under the belief that this first DLC was supposed to be KSI. We don't know for sure, but it is obviously something that's been talked about. And the fact that it's been talked about and the fact that a lot of people just kind of feel like this is scummy, I understand. And it is annoying because it's you're talking about money. It doesn't matter who the DLC person is. This is what people paid for. You know, you could give 12,000 currency, free, you know, virtual currency or whatever. But WWE and 2K should have been a lot better about marketing who's in the game, celebrities being in the game, DLC, like whatever it may be. I don't know. Very weird situation. And hopefully it gets all worked out. But definitely not a good rollout for 2K.